Hey everyone, so today we're going to be installing the FAFO controller into our standard Crazy Cart. This is the FAFO controller. It's a vest-based controller. It lets you fine-tune all the settings that you want with your cart, and you could also add regenerative braking in here if you'd like. So pretty much this is 3D printed cover, 3D printed base. It uses all the OEM style plugs, so then this is pretty much a direct plug-in upgrade. And then right here you can see that there's a port. It's a micro USB, so then you could tune it with your laptop or computer once you get it plugged in. So yeah, we'll go get started with installation. One thing I do want to note, since you could see everything right now, is that for the power switch you have 3 of these connectors. 2 of them have the cover on here, and these will be the ones that connect to each other for turning the controller on and off. When you look at your switch, there'll be 2 silver terminals, and that's where these 2 will connect. And this third one, the exposed one, is the ground, and this one will connect to the gold colored terminal, which pretty much activates the light on the OEM switch. So everything would work like original, and then you could also still charge through your OEM port with the correct charger. So we'll get into the install. It's a pretty straightforward removal process. Assuming you have the battery cover already taken off, all you'll need now is a 5mm Allen wrench and a 4mm Allen wrench. And I'm just going to be using the standard L style Allen wrenches just to show you that it doesn't require any specialty tools. So first thing we're going to do is take the battery off. So over here you'll have a 5mm bolt, Allen bolt, that you need to remove. And then the thumb screw on the other side. And then after that, we'll disconnect all the connectors, and then we'll work on taking the controller off with 2 4mm Allen bolts, one up top here, and then on the back side over here, there'll be one on the bottom, and the controller will come out after that. Alright, now that we have the stock controller out, here it is, and then we'll just set this aside. And then our wiring might look a little different than yours. We do have some extra stuff going on here since we are prototyping the regenerative e-brake for this cart, but pretty much you have a 6-pin harness like so without all the extra stuff, and then this will be your throttle. And then over here, the wire hanging down from your switch or your charger is your charging plug, and you have your motor plug here. And then the last one would be the battery, but that's part of the battery itself. So now that we have the FAFO controller, we'll go ahead and install this one. So pretty much the micro USB port will be on the top, like so, and then all the wires will come out the side here. Okay, now that we have the controller mounted up, for the charger here, you'll have this connector for the ground. Go ahead and just set that aside. You're not going to be using that one anymore. And then over here, off of the controller itself, this will be the new ground for your power switch. So first thing I'll do is I'll just plug these in. So pretty much, I'll try to move my hand so you guys can see what's going on here. But so from the side closer to the camera, the first one will be your ground. And then for the other 2, it doesn't matter which one goes where between the 2, so just make sure you get them in the last 2 connectors, and then you'll be good. So after that, we'll just plug in the motor wire here. Pretty much the only remaining plugs could only go in one place, so there's no real way to get it mixed up. And throttle will go over here. Now we have that in. And then your charger. Okay. And then the last thing is the battery's going to go back in. Then we'll just put back the battery bracket. Alright, now once you get everything plugged in, you go ahead and test it. So battery's plugged in, we'll just flip switch, we got power here, you can see it light up. And then what you could also do is look over here into the side of the cover of the new controller and you see a blue light. So looks like everything's powered up properly. So now we'll plug in the laptop and we'll do the base setup for this. Alright, so once you get the VESC tool installed on your computer, you should also have downloaded the newest firmware. There are some links in VESC tool or Project VESC to figure all that out. But once you do that, plug your laptop into the controller and then power the controller on, and then you'll see this where you can connect. So then go ahead and connect, and then just go ahead and ignore this. And so the first thing we're going to have to do is upgrade the firmware. So to do that, you'll go to firmware, and then you'll have your you'll go through a different process, but you'll basically load into your bootloader with the newest firmware, and then eventually you get to this part. And then when you do this part, go ahead and click the show non-default firmwares, and then do the one with no limits. So after that, we'll go ahead and update the firmware, and then it'll go through the whole process. The controller will reset, and then I'll get back to you after that. Okay, now we have our firmware updated, so now we'll connect, and then pretty much they're going to tell you to set up motors, or most tutorials will tell you to use the setup motors FOC. In this case, since we are running a brush motor, go ahead and skip that step. Okay, now that you're connected to the controller, first thing you're going to do is go to motor settings, general, and then motor type. You'll do DC, and sensors you'll skip current. Now you'll set the current based on your motor and battery. So typically, just a note that the motor current max will not be your continuous. So you would set your amperage based on the max that the motor could handle at a burst. After that, you go through this, set your voltage. In advance, you set your maximum input voltage, and then everything else you could kind of just skip. And then after you get that set up, your motor set up, now we'll go and do the throttle calibration. So go back to the main menu, set up input, and then you'll have to do this for the throttle if you ever change it to something else. So you're going to do the ADC input. So go ahead and click that, click next. And then it's a good idea to have your cart up in the air so the wheel's not touching the ground. And then all you can do now is look at channel 1 value. So then you'll start the throttle at full neutral and then just full throttle all the way down. Let go. I just do it one more time just for good measure. And then after that, go ahead and click apply. Next. And then go ahead and click write configuration to VESC. Click next again. And you're done. And then for the settings that you set in your motor, after you're done with that, go ahead and click the arrow down with the M. That's going to download it or upload it to your controller. And at the bottom here, you'll see a little green box to confirm that it's been completed. So now, basically, cart should be working. So let's go over to the cart. So one setting I forgot to mention is based on your motor. If you're running a brush motor like I am, what you're going to have to do is, in general, where you choose the motor type DC, make sure you also put the invert motor direction to true, and then go ahead and make sure you upload that to the controller. So now we have the cart elevated, the wheel's not touching the ground. All we're going to do now is just test the throttle, make sure it works. So in our case, I don't have the chain hooked up, so you can hear the motor spinning, but the wheel's not spinning because there isn't a chain on here, but that's pretty much it. And you're all set up, so just disconnect the computer from your controller and you're good to go. Enjoy your ride.